Hi everybody, I'm Skaji,
I'm Stevie.
And I'm Mogna.
and here we are with yet another Tea and Tarot video podcast thing, coming to you from Books, Beans, and Candles right here in Birmingham, Alabama. This is the second video we're producing for January 2026 because we're dropping you 2 videos a month now. One is our card of the month, and this one is our spread of the month. Coming up, we have in March, Christopher Pensack will be in town.
Yes, March 27th through the 29th.
And doing 3 different workshops.
Yeah, first time to my knowledge that he's done 3 workshops in a single weekend. Usually it's a workshop Friday nights and then a bigger workshop split up into Saturday and Sunday.
So we're doing potions on Friday night.
Yes, the Art of Potion Making on Friday night. That's a $75 class. Saturday the 28th, it is a curse breaking class. That is $125 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then on Sunday, same price, same time, is Evocation and Invocation of Spirits. So really excited to see Christopher once again and doing such amazing workshops with us.
So we get to learn how to summon whiskey.
I sure hope so.
It's the folk way of doing it.
Folk way. And so you've and don't forget our in-person Tea and Tarot event.
Yes.
First Friday night of every month, 6:30, right here at Books, Beans, and Candles. And you can find out all kinds of information about our events and things that we have going on all of our social media stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And at bookbeancandle.com, which is where you can also purchase those tickets for those workshops for Christopher, or you can call up here to the shop and do that over the phone.
Yeah, seats are limited, so the quicker you get those tickets, the happier you'll be.
Yeah, his stuff always fills up, and it's always worth it. I've enjoyed every one of his workshops. He's fantastic instructor.
Yeah.
Third Friday night is Sips and Stars at 6:30. It's an interactive astrology event. And fourth Monday night at 6:30 is Magic City Pagans, which is a different discussion topic each month. But for tonight, Mogna has put together a spread for us, and it's what's its theme?
So it's January. You had to know I was going to go with a New Year's sort of spread.
New Year.
Yeah. More like New Year's saming, because But no, so once again, just as the card of the month, I am using the Gustave Doré tarot deck. I have already done some shuffling before we started recording. So this is a nice little 5-card spread, and has sort of the theme of New Year's resolutions, because I feel like the vast majority of us set those as our goal, very high expectations of ourselves, and then we crash and burn. And so what do we do now?
Yeah, and I only ever set the one resolution every New Year's, and that's to not set any resolutions.
Goal succeeded.
So, starting with card position number 1, this is those high expectations. Those are those things that we have set for ourselves that are just unrealistic. And we pulled the Knight of Swords. Get that in there. Dance, dance, dance. So we may be feeling very much like a one-track mind, gotta reach whatever end goal as quickly as possible.
I'll succeed or I'll die. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
passionate. It's ambitious.
Well, and I'm not going to let anybody get in my way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a sword in my hand. Move.
Go into the gym. So card position number 2, this is where we actually need to put our energy in the upcoming year, not so much the unrealistic goals that we set for ourselves, but things we really need to focus on. And we get the 4 of Pentacles.
Totally pretty different.
Sis, you want to go for the world, but you need to take care of your own self first.
Instead of that gym membership, have you considered a savings account?
Well, and in this card, it really is a different take on the 4 of Pence, because we've got that skull that brings in that sort of past kind of thing. So it has a sort of introspective, retrospective kind of vibe to it as well. but just comparing these two cards, it's a lot more sedate. It's a little more somber. It's not as action oriented. So it's, slow your roll and consider stuff.
And the artwork specifically with Gustave Doré in the Four of Pence here feels very isolated, almost as if it has like the energy of the hermit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And I think especially when you look at like just these two cards comparatively, the Knight of Swords is very like, just like his body and his posture is very like, look at me. It's very extroverted.
Yeah.
Whereas that Four of Pentacles is very much the opposite, where it is kind of internalized and it's very like by myself and having to look at inwards in that particular way too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be on Instagram. You need to be like in your backyard or something. Calm down.
and we're all talking about this Pence card, and as we can see, this doesn't have that sort of pinnacle money coins kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
It brings more of that earth element, not so much associated with wealth and career and those kind of things, but more the back to our roots, the yes, mundane things for us, but it shies away from that traditional money oriented vibe that we often see in Pentacles.
Yeah, and
Especially
I really
Four of
like that.
Pentacles.
So, card number 3. This is something that we need to let go of. Because so much we hold too much in for ourselves. We need to let some things die away, get rid of, so that way we can make way for new, more exciting things. With the Tower in reverse.
Hell yeah, brother.
So quit dwelling on stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst has already kind of come to pass. Everything's hit the fan that's gonna hit the fan, right? So why do you keep just like pouring over it, And it's like, especially again looking at kind of the cards in relation, it very much has that like you're all by yourself. Now my thoughts, and the shortcomings or what you view as failures or whatever, and kind of just punching yourself about it over and over again.
Step back from the doom scrolling.
Absolutely.
And this deck is very much associated with like this is the Tower of Babel from the biblical story, and looking at it from that perspective where they built this big ambitious thing and all of a sudden now they can't talk to each other. As a reversed card, if we take that perspective, it could mean work on communicating, work on connecting, and not being completely isolated.
Yeah.
So it's almost like pulling these two things together in a balanced kind of way.
You said something about idiot. So there's just a game called Disco Elysium that I love. But there's a character in it called Idiot Doom Spiral, and you figure out why he's called that as you play the game. But that kind of has not a dissimilar tone of just like the spiraling of like could have been, would have been, should have been vibes. So that's a fun connection for anyone who likes Disco Elysium.
and we do tend, a lot of us tend to ruminate over previous stuff, and sometimes we just got to go, okay, I screwed that up, or that didn't work, or I got screwed over. Next step.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that sucks is actually like a cohesive answer. Like,
all right. So card number 4. I named this position aptly because this is something that I say to my tarot clients a lot. Cut yourself some slack. We're all human, so this is going to be a card.
Speak for yourself.
we don't know what Tracy is, so don't worry about it.
A lizard man? No, so this is advice for like how to keep moving when our plans eventually like fall through, because you make a plan, you try to execute the plan always fails, and then we get down in the dumps about it. So cut yourself some slack with the devil.
Now I'm hearing the Rolling Stones in my head. Sympathy for the devil.
To me, even though this is obviously a lot more biblical, like fallen angel, Lucifer, things like that, it always rings to me about, giving into a lot of the pleasures of life. It doesn't have to be gloom and doom and this all the time, let loose and have a little fun, and just keep going even when things start looking bleak.
Yeah.
Well, and this really does have some sort of Milton vibes to it, because it's almost like you could see it as he's sitting here thinking about what he's going to do next, but he also could be sitting there sulking a little bit, from that whole Milton perspective of, better to rule in hell than serve in heaven.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a thoughtful kind of take on it too. So we seem to have a thoughtful-ish kind of theme going on here.
I like, especially not to keep harping on that Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords has like this very active, very kind of taking everything all at once. Like, if I'm being funny, like especially thinking in like context of the New Year, like gym rat vibe. And then I love that the devil's like, but what if we just like sit back and get fat, baby? Like there is kind of like that more luxurious nature of things, and like to climb like briefly on a soapbox. I think there's kind of that thing where in order to better yourself, there's kind of like this punitive angle that we tend to take sometimes, where we think that bettering ourselves should be like this grueling process to like eat better, exercise more, do whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I like that the kind of, hey, do this instead and cut yourself some slack is more of like, no, have you considered being a little bit hedonistic actually, and actually pay attention to the pleasures of life? They might not be good for you in too big amounts, but like have a little bit.
And I think we're such a hurried society.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed this was years ago, and after I'd been diagnosed as diabetic, I was hardcore disciplined for a year. And at the end of that year, to celebrate, I celebrated with one cookie. One cookie. We turned the TVs off in the house. Everybody had to be quiet. The phones were all on silent. And I sat with that cookie, and it took me 15 minutes to eat that cookie. That was the best cookie I had eaten in my entire life. And I think that's, going back to what you're saying, slowing down and enjoying the stuff. That doesn't mean, enjoying some of life's pleasures doesn't mean gorging ourselves or gluttony or making ourselves sick on candy.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe just slowing down and actually just being present with those experiences.
Yeah, you don't need bread with every meal.
Sure.
Wait, what?
I know.
But also suffering is not a virtue either.
No. I mean, it's like anything else in life. It's both, it is when it is,
right.
but it's not all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And having it worked in like this, especially with like the devil card being like, okay, but have you considered doing something that just doesn't suck for like 5 minutes? You've done all this reflecting, you've done all of this like, especially with that tower card reverse of like reflecting all the bad stuff. Just have like a beer, man, or like.
Yeah, especially if we're continuing with that theme of like going to the gym as our New Year's resolution. It's like, take some time to figure out why we want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Is it so that we can actually be a little bit healthier? We don't have to like run out of breath, walking up the stairs to our bedroom, or are we doing it because of like superficial reasons? Yeah. Somebody hurt your feelings and you think that the body standard is controlling our actions. Slow down a little bit. Which, to me, I feel like brings us to the final card of the spread. The fifth and final card is things that we excel at, even if we don't believe it ourselves. This is things that we really can take focus on in stock and just seeing like where we are standing at the current moment. With the Eight of Cups in reverse.
Staying present.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times traditionally the Eight of Cups is I'm going to leave this stuff behind, but being present with it, processing through it, going, okay, I've got this stuff put together, and the image on this card, is that a sheep?
Looks like a sheep.
It's a sheep pulling a cart with a person in it.
I'd have to take a look back at this particular artwork and see what biblical story it depicts.
But it has that sort of, it still has that moving away vibe. But you can't imagine that if you've hooked your cart to a sheep, it's gonna be like fast.
Yeah. It's a meandering pace.
Yeah, so it's not, it's not a war horse.
Right.
It's something a little more pastoral. So, and they're fluffy. So maybe if we're staying present with those feelings, I mean, really being present with those, that's something that these feelings really suck. Well, what are they trying to tell us? Sometimes we have to sit with that stuff to really get out of it what it's there trying to tell us.
And even with the Eight of Cups being reversed, like, it's not that you can't ever move on, you can't ever, feel something different or whatever. But it is very much as this comes and passes kind of thing. We're not speed running our way through this. You gotta just hang out here for a little bit and work through these things before you begin packing all your stuff up and leaving.
Yeah.
With the context of everything else that we've kind of gone on, the Eight of Cups in reverse feels a lot like the slowing down, but also like, start small. Little victories are still victories. Eventually we get the ball moving and we get to the bigger things that we want to. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to go so hard, so fast, and now it's 4 days later and I don't want to do this anymore.
I'm going to exercise so hard my kneecaps explode.
I had a roommate in college. He was a varsity cheerleader, and I was a band nerd. And he convinced me to work out with him once. He couldn't work out because I was cutting jokes. I was just making jokes the whole time. And I didn't work out with him again because the next day I couldn't move.
Fair.
Yeah.
Look at all the muscle groups you didn't know you had.
Yeah, that was pretty painful. It's a very good spread, Mogna. I like that a lot. And this deck is fantastic, and it really brings in a lot of different approaches to interpretation as well. Even if you don't use, I don't know that I could read from this deck. I could sit and stare at the artwork all day long.
Oh yeah, no, this is a deck that I use solely for like my own personal readings. I would not use this for clients for many reasons, but a lot of people are looking for that traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, and I like this one specifically because we can pull different elements from the biblical stories, from imagery that's there, so that way we can pull out more than just what the little white book in the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck
and that's with. And that's something that every reader I know, they're like, this is the deck I use for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have 2 or 3 that are like that.
Yeah.
This is the deck I use when it's this, and this is the deck I use when it's this, and those are mine. And these are the decks that I will use with clients. And that's perfectly okay. We're not saying go out and buy a bunch of tarot decks, but they're all going to have a slightly different approach to things, and some just feel personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is mine.
Well, awesome spread. We want to thank y'all for spending a little bit of your time with us today, and come join us in person for Tea and Tarot here at Books, Beans, and Candles in Birmingham, Alabama, first Friday night of every month at 6:30. And we'll see you next time. Safe journeys.